Hi, this is Tamsin McDonough. You're listening to The Quad, a Killjoys podcast.
You're listening to The Quad, a Killjoys podcast. My name is Annie.
And I'm Chris. We are talking about the 9th episode of Killjoys Season 4, The Kids Are All Right. While we will talk about anything and everything from that episode, there won't be any spoilers for future episodes.
So let's get started with our reviews. I love this episode. So much going on. It was great to see the entirety of Team Awesome Force and, all the supporting characters that we love to try and take back the rack. As always, I love the little character moments, like that conversation with Dutch, having to respect Turin's command, and he's like, wait a minute, stuff has changed since you've been gone. And there's always the humorous bits, like Davin and Fancy's little shooting competition. Very, Lord of the Rings, kind of remind me of that. And, again, everything is building up, so this episode has some really high stakes, and not unexpectedly, not everybody makes it out alive, but it still packed a bit of an emotional punch for me, so I like that. And, of course, the big switcheroo between Dutch and Anila at the end. I love how this show always manages to surprise me, but mostly it's just, I bow down at Hannah John Common's feet because she is so awesome. Just amazing. So, as per usual. What about you, Chris?
I agree with, I think, everything you said, because so much stuff happened this episode. First of all, the ending was amazing, and I love it, and I'm kind of scared, but also excited?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And you're right, Hannah John Common is so good at doing that transition between Dutch and Anila. And I was rewatching it, and I was so impressed with how she does that, because you can tell just kind of by the way she holds her body who she is.
Yep.
It's so great. It's such a physical performance. I like it. And I love that this show manages to be so bonkers in a grounded way, by which I mean that they have some really out there stuff happen, but in ways that make sense in the context of the show. Good job, show. I know I have said all of that before, and I will probably say it again a few times before the series ends, because it's just so consistently true. I love that Jack and Team Awesome Force seemed genuinely sad to be parting ways. I like that they're all attached to each other. I do not doubt, for that reason, that they will reunite. I don't know when that's going to happen. I hope it'll happen sooner rather than later, but he's at least safe with Dulcea. I mean, Dulcea clearly was prepared for an attack. That giant,
with the biggest gun in history.
It looked like a ridiculous Nerf gun of some sort. Anyway, also, I am sad but not surprised by the character deaths in this episode. And I actually really appreciated that scene where they all volunteer to be the one to stay behind when they're at the rack and decide they have to, enter the codes to blow it up. Because that feels true to the characters. And I thought it was a good scene where immediately, of course, Dutch is like, I'll do it. Because she's selfless like that.
We're all like, no. And everybody's like, I'll do it. And we're like, stop it, everybody. So, stop being so awesomely self-sacrificial.
I should probably also add, we're going to do like a relatively condensed episode. You've probably noticed Stephanie is not with us. She is busy these days, so we're hoping to do like a post-season wrap-up with Stephanie. But for now, quick episode this week, and then we'll probably talk about everything a lot more next time. Okay, so let's talk about the character deaths, because we have to.
Okay, first off, I was not expecting Weege. I was like, no! Oh, God. I was totally rooting for Tweege. And I loved how broken up Turin was about him, in his very Turin way. I like that line that Dutch said to him later. She's like, well, you actually have a heart now. So, but that was a bit unexpected. I'm like, oh, there's a big, there's a big shield there. Although I'm wondering why the Hullen weren't suspicious when later even more ships come in. I don't know, maybe they just thought it was part of the pick up kids routine. But yeah, I would have been a little suspicious. I wouldn't have let anybody else in after that point.
Yeah, the thing is, it was kind of sudden and kind of shocking the way that they killed Weege, but also, I know this sounds terrible, but I was kind of expecting Weege to die.
Yeah.
And I think if you listen to the episode that we recorded before this one, you can probably hear the moment as we were having that discussion where I realized that that's probably going to happen. Because I think I say something like, oh, I'm really worried about Weege now. Because you're talking about how much you love Weege. And I'm like, oh no. That is the sound of my dawning realization that Weege is probably going to get killed.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm just a level 2 killjoy when it comes to the show and my understanding of it, so I'm denser than you, so I would have been like, everybody's gonna live forever!
It's not that, it's just, I don't even know what it is. It's having watched too many shows and paranoia. A lot of it's just paranoia.
You have paranoia, I just worry about everybody. Okay.
What's that sense of dread? Well, and, I think part of it, what it was, is that Turin, really fully embraced, Weege is my guy. And I'm like, oh no. Turin's attached. Turin and his having feelings now. It wasn't a good sign. But yes, I am very broken up about it, because Weege could have been a really cool, interesting character for them to explore further, and now that can't happen. Although I suppose he is Hullen.
You never know.
Maybe somehow we can get more Weege. I don't know. Don't doubt the power of the green, right? Fingers crossed. And then sadly we have the other character death of Pip. Poor Pip. Which, frankly, I also saw coming.
That one I did see coming.
Now, I feel like I should clarify, if you've listened to any of our podcasts, including this one, you know that I have strong feelings about character deaths, in that I don't think that they're as necessary as, any given TV show these days thinks they are. But also, I saw these coming, and I'm sad about it.
Well, yeah, with Pip, I didn't think there was any other way. He was gonna survive at this point in the show with Spider in his head and all of that. But yeah, like I said, I did like that moment at the end where he was like, nope, I drew the short straw, and that really just showed how far he'd come as a character. And I did like those little bits between him and Zeph at the end. That was just great job by Kelly McCormick showing her grief with Pip at the end. So, but
she
I'm just
totally made me cry.
I know, and I'm just like, yeah.
The delivery of the line, I will if it... What was it?
Oh, I'll believe in magic if I can, science you out of there or something. If it helps me science you out of there.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Dang it.
'Cause I think she says something like, fine Dutch, she's magic. And he says, you're a scientist, you don't believe in magic. And then I think she says something like, I will if it keeps you safe or something like that. Whatever it is, her delivery just makes me cry.
Yeah, I was surprisingly emotional at that point, but that was all her performance, so.
They're very good in that scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if she'll ever forgive Dutch and how that relationship, if it'll ever be repaired, but.
I'm sure it will. I think things will be tense for a little while. But because it's this show, I feel like they will actually, talk about it.
Yeah.
They'll address it. They'll work through it. Because this is a show that values emotions and discussion and interpersonal relationships.
Yep.
But I did think that was a good end cap for Pip's storyline this season, since it started off with him being so unbrave.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's sort of like a big moment for him that he's like, no, this is a thing I'm actually going to do that will actually help other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I respect that, Pip.
I did think it was surprising at the end, though, that the storyline had to turn on that point where they just have to go, oh no, the only way to get out of this is to blow up the rack, because otherwise they're going to access the huge cannons. So, with the reboot. And I went, oh man. So I liked that bit where Turin said, goodbye, old girl. And I was like, my gosh, the whole rack is gone. Another rack. How many have they blown up now? Like 6?
I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot.
Too much blowy uppy stuff.
You're not wrong.
And then real briefly at the end, I couldn't quite figure out how Dutch used the symbols that were, interpreted the symbols on her back to use that as clues as to how to enter the green. I don't know how that alluded to a body switch, but still, yay for her powers of deduction.
Well, I think if it had just been the symbols, she probably wouldn't have gotten it, but the symbols combined with the flash that she got of, I guess it would be Anila's memory, right?
Yeah.
Basically, those two things combined, saying, oh, that's what she was trying to show me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then again, instantly something is up when it reveals that they've switched bodies. So, now I'm just nervous because Dutch is in the green, but she seems to be ready. She's like, okay, lady, bring it. And I'm like, okay, I hope she knows what she's doing, because I am nervous for you. But, yeah. I can't wait to see the banter between Anila, though, and the boys, as they figure out their relationship and figure out how to help Dutch.
Oh, that's going to be complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she kind of tried to kill them last time she saw them, so...
Yeah. But I did enjoy seeing Fairuza back, briefly. Because I was like, even though I knew it was too late at the point in the story, I was like, oh, girlfriends, Zeph, pay attention. Rent the room by the hour with her.
Maybe next season.
Maybe next season.
Certainly Zeph will have more thinking to do.
But I remember Fairuza saying that the combination of the symbols, they were left by a Scarback, but that's what they do upon their death. So she said whoever died took it with them. So I was like, who did that? Or was that just something Anila threw in there to kind of confuse people?
Well, I think the idea was that that's what the symbol, that's what that language is, essentially. Mm-hmm. That's how it's currently used. But that's not what happened here, obviously.
Okay. Because I was like, what if Hunky Monk left the symbols? And I know that was a stretch, but still, it's just, I miss him. So.
I think it was probably just the best way that Anila could figure to send a condensed, meaningful
coded message. Yeah. Although I don't know, is that a flashback to when she's in the green? Because the symbol's on her hand when Dutch sees her in that flash from the green.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm like, how did it go on Dutch's back? I don't know. Anyway, it's just a way of getting the symbol across, I guess.
I just kept thinking, how inconvenient a place to send somebody a message. You can't see that yourself.
That's a good point.
I suppose you could if there was a system of mirrors, but still.
Yeah, but then it would be backwards in the mirror, and then you'd never get the symbols deciphered.
Again, a system of mirrors, Annie.
Yeah. Okay, but still. Good thing Team Awesome Force is there to help her decipher everything.
Yes. We also got some feedback from some listeners. Christina says, I loved this episode, but I wish they would have saved Pip. I just hope we don't lose any more people in the finale.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, considering this show. We'll see.
Right. I also hope that, but also they are at war still, mm-hmm. and finales tend to be, big event things. I'm hoping that nobody does die. I'm just trying to brace myself in the event that we do have more character deaths. I don't want any show.
Yeah.
You stop it.
Stop messing.
We had two sad ones this time. No more.
It's going to be like, look, we'll give you a bunch of sad ones for the finale. No. Anyway, we have some more feedback from, I love this username, Tessa Tickle. They killed Weege? Oh no, I love Weege. They killed Pip? I kid, a little. I'm very upset about Weege. I think it was a good exit showing growth from spoiled rich kid, talking about Pip, to self-sacrificing hero, and it was very much in line with Killjoy's emphasis on doing things on your own terms. I am confused by the green now. I don't quite get how alien goo goes from infection/possession to teleporting/body swapping/caste system/prison space. There may be something I missed, but it just doesn't join up for me. I am ready to meet the lady. I found using Klein and Anila as faces was a bit of a cop-out. Seriously, a dead man's memory cell has more airtime than actual live characters, and I am afraid by dragging it out this long that there is no possibility of a payoff to meet expectations. And I know we've mentioned that on past podcast episodes. So, I don't know. I feel like the show will still surprise me. And as for the green, don't even ask me about the green. The green just can do everything. So.
Well, that's sort of the thing. Like, the green's kind of, I don't know. It feels like part of the explanation is that the green is maybe beyond human comprehension.
It's like an all-purpose material. It's like Gorilla Glue. It can do everything.
Or duct tape.
Yeah.
Or Windex.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they have established that Anila especially has abilities with the green that not everybody has, so it does seem like a matter of what you can figure out / are capable of doing with the green. So, I don't know. I feel like there's, like, in story reasoning behind all of this.
But there's also a lot of infinite possibilities with the green. It's like every episode, it can do this as well.
Right. I guess that's the point that I'm trying to get at here is it's
a very malleable material.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jennifer Courtney says, Killjoy's The Kids Are Alright was a roller coaster of an episode. The obvious mention being Pip's self-sacrifice and the emotional scene with Zeph. The Pip and Zeph scene earlier in the episode was powerful, one of the best lines coming from Zeph. And if everything I want and everything I choose is just some vestige of trauma, then what gets to be mine? Overall, the episode is just further proof of the writer's evil genius. No argument here.
Yep. And more feedback from Keisha. Hi ladies, as a longtime listener but first time emailing, I love this show, and I love all the great relationships. They have a really weird family. This episode was funny and sad. I love when the Jacobys barged into Delcea's lair and said, "It's your weekend." I laughed so hard. Dav's packing Jack's clothes like a sad parent dropping off their kid was so sweet. But the talk between Dutch and Jack was really fun. I love how Dutch calls Dav Papa Bear, and how they are all sad as Jack leaves. I knew when Pip went on the mission we would not see him again. I liked him, and he will be missed, but his death was admirable. But if they had spent a little more time with his character, it would have meant so much more. They did not have us care about him as much as the others, like Ouija's death got me by surprise. I think even Turin was shocked as well, and a bit sad. He will be missed. So glad they got the kids out and safe, but what did Dutch tell the boys before she switched places with Anila? And what does Dutch have to beat the lady? And how will Jack, Delcea, and Anila get along? And what will they use Jack for against the lady? All questions they will have to solve in the finale. This episode was great fun, sad, but more questions to ask than ever. Will we see Zeph again? I know she was heartbroken and blamed Dutch, but she needs to get over that. We see it was Pip who chose and wanted to be a hero like the others. Dav hitting Fancy with a gun was great. Someone needs to make a video of all the times Dav said or did things to Fancy. I would watch that over and over every day. So great of an episode. Can't wait for the finale.
What do you have against Fancy, Keisha?
What does Dav have against Fancy? He just shot him and he goes, well, that counts for 2 points. And I'm like, hey, that was not very nice. But keeping in spirit
but
with the character.
Those two have always needled at each other.
That's true. It was, yeah. I'm like, boys.
And to answer the question, what did Dutch tell the boys before she switched places with Neela? I believe she says something to them about how they will need a better guide, right?
Yeah, and she reminded Johnny again, you are the thief that saves the world, and I can't remember is that what she told Davin? You'll need a better guide?
I mean, I think she said that to both of them, didn't she?
Yeah. Could that be Jack, or even
No,
Delle
she's
Seyah?
talking about Anila.
Oh, okay.
Or at least that's how I interpreted it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because I think
Better
part of it
guide to
was,
the green.
okay, they need to get Anila out because Anila's been in there for a while. So I think part of it is Dutch saying, okay, I'll relieve
back
you
in.
of this duty for a while. Mm-hmm. And also that they do need Anila's guidance outside the green space.
Oh, boy.
At least that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. And so fun to see Anila and Dav and Johnny interact again. Because fun in that, not fun for the characters, but the show will make it funny.
I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious if they're going to bring Delle Seyah in the finale episode here, too.
Yeah, or what role Jack plays since the lady's after him. Maybe he plays a piece in defeating her.
Well, I'm just saying, like, putting Delle Seyah in the mix with Anila and Davin and Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
The four of them in one space, I feel like, could be interesting.
More like very combustible, but yeah, very interesting and funny. We'd love to hear your thoughts about this episode of Killjoys. You can send them to us at killjoys@askgenretv.com. We do love getting voice messages too, which you can send to us in a couple of ways. Record a voice memo on your smartphone and email it to us, or call our listener voicemail line at 972-514-7223. Follow us on Twitter or Tumblr at Killjoys Podcast.
And a reminder that we are running a giveaway. We have feminist Killjoy stickers from our buddies over at Fangirl Shirts. You can go visit their website at fangirlshirts.com. Check out their awesome Killjoys merchandise. But yes, if you send us feedback to include in our episodes, we will send you a feminist Killjoy sticker. You can see pictures of these super cool stickers over on our Twitter page or on our Tumblr page. And if you would like one of them, when you send us your feedback to include in our episode, go ahead and include a shipping address so I know where to send it. The Quad is part of the Ask Genre TV family of podcasts. To find our other podcasts about Lost Girl, Orphan Black, and other shows, visit our website, askgenretv.com. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you in the Quad, and possibly the green space.
Dun, dun, dun.